People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com, and my soaps, Purple Butterfly Soaps, can be located at people.etsy.com. And I come to talk to you about my new blend, which, as you can tell, looks a little rough right now. Usually the label looks all nice and pristine like this. Well, this is a 70% VG and 30% water. And I don't know if anybody knows anything about density, but see how clear and free-flowing that is? That's not how it came. It came with like this much water and this much VG. Looked like somebody tried to shake it together and it congealed in the middle. And that can happen with a glycerin-based anything, because glycerin happens to be heavier than water, and when you shake it up, the water can get frozen in time, especially if you use cold water. So you're probably wondering how I got it back to being virtually liquid. And the one that I filled up subsequently is virtually liquid. Well, there's a real simple trick. You grab yourself an empty bottle. You take and boil some water. You take the top off. Well, I'm going to actually show you how I get this top off, because that seems to be a point of contention with some people. If you look real close, you can see how it's still some thick right there, but that's no problem. And you pop the top like that, and you stick it in the water and let it get all nice and hot. And then you get the other bottle, because you're shaking it up while you're doing that. Then you take the other bottle and do the same thing. Pop the top off of this one. Take the top off of this one. I just messed up that fingernail. I just went through all the trouble to fix. I could fill it. And then you take and transfer the contents of one to the other. And that might take time to get it to do that, because since vegetable glycerin is rather thick and you're heating it up to loosen it up, it might take a couple of tries before one gets viscous enough that it can transfer. But once you do that process, go ahead and put the top on, wait till it clicks, lock it in place, because it's a childproof cap, and then you put it back in some warm or preferably hot water. Hot as you can get it without actually melting that bottle. Yeah, and I'm finna go fix that fingernail. So while I had it in this liquid state, of course, I went and refilled my to-go bottles. And then this bottle, if it decides it wants to recongeal or whatever, at least it's shook up enough where I know all that is blended in, so I could pour right on in my tank without a problem. And as you can tell, there's like little trapped air bubbles in there. The air bubbles was the problem. See, if you're going to do it that way, you either need to use all vegetable glycerin and recompose it with the water yourself, or use a weaker blend like a 50-50. But my goal was to get rid of all traces of propylene glycol in my blend. So, needless to say, I figure water will absorb all that thick. But because of how it worked out, basically I'm going to just use all vegetable glycerin, because my tank held up pretty good in it, especially after I redid the assembly and the coils. Let me put that back in there. And then keep your spare bottle. Oh, you can see that's thickening up too. But keep your spare bottle just for that purpose. And as always, if you have a spare bottle, you can use it for whatever other purpose. Hold on. But because that liquid is so thick, you know, we used to have a glue that did that, and it actually came with a little thing that you could poke out the top of the glue bottle. So that way you didn't have to worry about that thickness. But that's how you get it from being so thick you can't deal to being loose enough that you can use it however you see fit. So, this has been People7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com, and my soaps, Purple Butterfly Soaps, can be located at people.etsy.com. If your liquid gets too thick, use some water to loosen it up. Don't pour water in there because that mix is stable. Just use like a double boiler method or, you know, hot water. Put the whole bottle in there, let it loosen up, and so forth and so on, like I told you, and you shouldn't have any more problems whatsoever. Y'all stay blessed and stay tuned. Bye now.